for some reason, I'm kind of having a hard time with the flow of it all.
So when you say flow, you mean is it more like tracking things so you're able to consistently do it, or is it understanding of what happens after what, like what specific issues?
Yeah, I guess because I was doing it, I had a routine.
So yeah, so going back to the whole thing, yeah. So I would say like the best thing would be like keep working on your like the well, the most important thing is the first meeting. So if you're getting first meeting and the conversation part, keep improving that and work on that, and make sure that you are at least getting a good hang of it. That part is important because that is how all the other problems are going to get solved.
Okay.
And right, because if the meetings drop, or if that's become inconsistent, which can happen sometimes with just by people not responding and things like that, we see it all the time. But generally, overall, month by month, and by 2 month average and 3 months, you should still see a pretty good numbers. We may have a dip in a week here and there.
Right.
and and for the first meeting, like the best thing, well, to really improve, if it is something that is happening where you're seeing first meeting go, and then if you, like, for example, if you want to improve a first to second meeting conversion as an example, then you just have to zoom into the first meeting. Like that's the way to improve it, because there is something happening in first meeting that is not leading into the second meeting
Right.
generally. So we wouldn't remember actually everything that happens because you're talking to them, and it's sometimes very hard. So this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. But the thing that I do, at least in my case, is like I have like a script type of an approach, which I also give you guys, and you'll probably have a tailored approach for the first meeting. But even she used the same thing with the last prospect. I think that she probably signed up, I believe. It's the same thing. You won't retire based on investment or portfolio, but you will retire on a plan.
Right.
So, and that's actually a very powerful line. I think I probably want to make that like a quote or something and start
I was gonna
publishing
say
it.
that's really good, Deepak. I'm writing it down right
Yeah,
now.
because you really want to make that as a quote and say, listen, a portfolio or a return will not retire you, but a plan will. So that then you can explain saying, even if you had a 20% return, doesn't mean you can retire. You may, but you may not,
Right.
because it's just one piece, right? You do need, like, if you want to run marathon, you got to run properly, but you got to eat properly too. You got to breathe properly, as an example, right? You can't finish otherwise. It's impossible. Practice
Yeah.
all the way running and eat shitty food and see what happens. It won't work, guaranteed, hands down. And you can again use it as an example. So that way you challenge the limiting beliefs, because it's a common sense, right? You think that if so, the way people see it is like, well, most advisor gives on an average 7%, 8% return,
Right.
right? I can do 10 to 12% on index funds, for example, with low fee. Why
Right.
would I need an advisor? I thought like that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some validity to the thought process, by the way, right? But it is not entirely true, because there are aspects of plan that is more important
Right.
for retirement. You can retire on return. Again, this is a good one too. You can retire on a plan. So I think that one little thing can become like the main thing to educate people on and drive everything.
Hey, good. Just one quick question.
Yeah.
So as you're using the organic LinkedIn campaign,
Yep.
the one sheet that you have that shows the whole process from connecting all the way to closing, there are two red squares. One is, after someone connects and you give them that first message, and they never respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one group of people. And then there are people that do respond, but don't end up becoming interested. That's another group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Would both of those go into the second message campaign group, or would only one of those go into that?
Yeah, I would at this stage call them like, not interested if there's been many days at this point, because if they went cold after a basic follow-up saying, hey, did you get my message? If they don't respond, they pretty much not interested, because if they're talking to you and then they went cold, we know that they are responding, so they should not be in the no response category, but I would just put them as not interested for now, and that should be safe category, because not interested is then we are going to do a webinar and other follow-ups later. So we can get everybody into one bucket at that point, including these people. Okay, May, you're up next.
Hey Deepak, how
Hey,
are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I have a lot of questions coming up recently, I guess, because I'm super busy. And I'm glad you picked me in the queue. So this week has been really good. Even though it's the first starting the week, I already scheduled like 7 meetings, including
Nice.
Yeah, I know, including as the meeting I scheduled today. So 8 meeting total, including first meeting and second meeting.
Nice.
So it's pretty good. And what I want to ask is, remember last time, like last Friday, we talked about like I will have a meeting yesterday afternoon with a couple that I approached them to ask what's their plan for their cash in their portfolio.
Yep.
And then they got really excited. They scheduled 1-hour meeting with me yesterday. And so this is where how it went, and I want to ask your opinion and feedback about if I did correctly, and also I have a question for that as well.
No, but when you say, okay, let me understand. So when you say you were afraid that you oversold, which part of the call, like where you re-stress the importance of a plan or a bigger picture, is what you're saying? Did you
yeah, that's what
yeah, so let me just give you like just a perspective on this type of situation and how to handle that, right? So so what happens is, like, there are a few things. So when somebody is looking for something, so in this case, for example, if they wanted to know product,
right,
then they ask for product. And I think what you did in the first response of saying, for sure, I got that information, so I'll walk you through that. I think it will help all of us to just make sure that we understand the big picture. So when we do get to the product part, it'll help me to make sure that I'm talking about the right one. And it is the right thing for all of us. So I think the response like that is the right thing to do for the first time.
Okay.
Now, if they bring it up again, then not showing them product would be kind of a disrespect.
Right.
And would make you look like an aggressive salesperson, even if you're like timid, and even you actually may even be very quiet. You are depicting aggression by not giving them the information they so want.
Okay.
So that's number one, right? So first time we can do it because we can see if this is important to them or not.
Okay.
But if it is really important, if it is really hurting them, and if it is, and some people are more control freak, they do want to get control. But if it comes back again, then you would need then to address it. You can not address it. So that's number one, right?
Okay.
Now, here's an interesting thing, right? So this is where the second stage now comes in, that you do give them the product information.
Yes.
But think of it like, they're kind of a little hungry.
Yes.
So you want to just throw a little bit of bun at them. You don't want to give the whole meal. You just want to give them a bit of meal.
Exactly.
So they get something in their mouth, they're busy, and they feel satisfied to some degree.
Yes.
So that's the second step.
Overall direction of the product, but not going into detail.
Correct. Exactly. So that's what you want to say. Okay, perfect. Okay, fair enough. I think, I understand that you definitely want to know this. So let me just park this question that we are talking about, the big picture. I think I have some idea, but let's just keep it on the side. So here is the kind of product that we have. ABC, there are different versions, variations, returns, things like that.
Okay.
And then just